If you've ever wondered what's behind real estate fees, then you are in the right place. Today, I want to explain how our pricing works clearly, directly, and without anything hidden, because this is one of those topics that people care deeply about, even if it's awkward to talk about. And I have to be honest, if I personally am shopping for services and pricing is hidden behind a call us or make an appointment button, I'm out. I am closing the page. I'm done. And it's not because I don't like what they're saying. It's because I'm not shopping yet. I'm planning. I want to understand the framework before I even decide who I want to talk to. And this part matters because pricing for a service like this is genuinely hard to evaluate. It's not scary, it's frustrating because you don't really know whether the value is there until the outcome. And by then, there's nothing clean or objective to point to. So I'm going to just address the elephant in the room. I think a lot of people wonder if agents are even worth it anymore. And I get it. You can tour homes on your phone, you can pull comps yourself, and there are discount brokerages that'll list your house for a flat fee. And honestly, if all you need is someone to unlock doors and file paperwork, then you probably don't need a full service agent. But here's the thing, real estate is a lot like insurance. I know nobody wants to be associated with insurance, but hear me out. It's a good analogy. For insurance, you pay the premium whether you file a claim or not. And when nothing goes wrong, you just feel lucky. Like nobody's like, man, I wish my roof had blown off in that hurricane. No, you don't feel that way. Sometimes a real estate deal is like that. It's simple and the fee gets earned in a few smooth weeks. Sometimes we're working 60-hour weeks to keep a transaction from falling apart, and we're making less than minimum wage by the time it closes. The thing is, you can't know which deal yours will be before you start. If you're lucky enough to get the simple one, isn't that the outcome you were hoping for in the first place? So, when a transaction is handled well, you don't feel the work. Problems don't escalate, mistakes don't pile up, and things just move forward the way they're supposed to. Unfortunately, most people only understand the value of a good agent after they've experienced a situation where that judgment was missing. I have other videos that go deeper into how to hire an agent and how to evaluate full service versus other options, and I'll link to those below. But for now, let's talk about our numbers. Our commission is 3% of the sale price, regardless of whether you are buying or selling. And that fee is paid at closing. It appears directly on the settlement statement, and absolutely nothing is due up front. As a seller, you don't need to pay a buyer's agent fee up front, and you don't have to commit to that ahead of time. That request for the buyer agent fee typically comes through in the buyer's offer, and we'll address it there. And don't worry, we will walk you through exactly how that works before you list so you understand the possibilities long before you are in the middle of negotiations. For buyers, the structure is similar, just from the other side. You're also responsible for your agent's fee. And if you want to ask the seller to cover that as part of the negotiation, we will help you think through whether that makes sense for your situation and how to approach it. Now, buyers and sellers have different priorities, so the work shifts a little bit depending on which side you're on. Buyers will spend more time touring and evaluating properties up front, and sellers involve more strategy, pricing, positioning, and marketing. But once we're under contract, the responsibility is the same. On both sides, you're hiring someone to make judgment calls in the moments that matter, often when there's pressure, emotion, or incomplete information. And in Pennsylvania, that responsibility goes a step further. And you may not know this, but we're what they call an escrow state, which means that your agent is handling the contract preparation, the addendums, and a lot of the legal adjacent work that attorneys handle in other states. We're not attorneys, but in most real estate transactions in Pennsylvania, there are no attorneys involved. A poorly trained agent can barely fill out a contract correctly. A good one makes sure you're protected in writing before anything moves forward. Which brings me to why this is such a hard conversation in the first place. I get it. Pricing is an uncomfortable conversation. I don't ever want to talk about pricing. I don't want to haggle. It's even uncomfortable for agents. The value is genuinely hard to articulate, and that's why it's hard. It's exactly what we're addressing here. You should have time to process this, to ask questions, and to understand what you're working with. You should not feel like you're being put on the spot at your first appointment or waiting for the other shoe to drop when it comes time to sign. I'm not embarrassed to talk about commission. If I can't be direct about my own fees, then I definitely can't handle the harder conversations, like telling a seller that their price expectations are off from where the market is, or helping a buyer understand why maybe walking away from a house is the right move. There are tangible pieces to the job: marketing, exposure, coordination, processes. But the real value of an agent isn't a checklist, it's experience, pattern recognition, and knowing when something is about to go sideways, often before anyone else sees it. And when that skill is doing its job, you don't see it. Things feel smooth, they feel natural, predictable, and ironically, that is when it's hardest to quantify. We offer one clear level of full service because we don't believe this is something that you can meaningfully tier. Here's what I mean. If I cut my fee in half, what am I going to cut? Do I don't know, answer your calls half as often? Do I maybe show up to just half the inspection? Or maybe I pay half as much attention when the appraisal comes in low. I can't turn off half my brain. This kind of work just doesn't scale that way. You can't discount judgment or experience. What you're paying for with a good agent is full service. You're paying for availability, responsiveness, and someone in your corner who can guide you through decisions when the stakes are high, someone who knows what steps to take next. Now, the reason our commission is a percentage, not a flat fee, is because that's how compensation has been structured in real estate for a long time. Don't worry, that's not the answer. For sellers, the alignment is straightforward. When the sale price goes up, we both benefit. For buyers, it's less intuitive. The work is every bit as involved, often more so than it is for sellers, but it's focused differently. After we go under contract, the work becomes very much the same. We're doing the same negotiation, the same coordination through closing. The percentage structure isn't perfect, but none of the other models are either. No model is. What matters is that you're getting full service and someone who is fully accountable when the decisions actually matter. This page lays out what we charge, what to budget for, and what to expect. It is not meant to push anyone in a direction. It is just meant to make the process easier to understand. You should have enough information by now to evaluate your options, to ask better questions, and to choose the agent who feels right for you. And if you want to talk through your specific situation before you list and before you see that first house, then I am always happy to do that.